Hello, and welcome to this asynchronous workshop on time management. My name is Alejandra Garcia, and I am the Program Assistant for Project Race. In today's asynchronous workshop on time management, we will be discussing what is time management, useful techniques, personal tips from our very own peer advisors, how to successfully time manage during this pandemic, and finally, on-campus resources to help you be successful with time management. So let's get started. First, let's discuss what time management is. Time management is a process of organizing and planning how to divide your time between specific activities. Good time management enables you to work smarter, not harder, so that you get more done in less time, even when time is tight and pressures are high. Failing to manage your time damages your effectiveness and causes stress. And I think we have all felt that before. The panic starts to creep in when we feel the deadline coming up on a huge project or exam. So in today's workshop, our goal is to provide you the skills so you do not feel like this ever again. I want to discuss 8 reasons why time management skills are incredibly important now and after college. 1. Time is limited. There are only 24 hours in a day, and realistically even less when you incorporate class time, work, eating, and sleeping, which are things we may or not be able to do without. So it is very important to learn how to manage this limited resource. 2. When you learn to take control of your time, you improve your ability to focus, and with increased focus comes enhanced efficiency because you don't lose momentum. There's been many times where I try to study, but then I remember other homework assignments I need to do it, and by the time I get back to studying, I am so burned out that it seems almost useless. It feels like I wasted that time when instead I should have made a plan to tackle my assignments. Number 3, whether you rely on a time chunking technique or discover the power of list making, you'll soon find that a nice side benefit of good time management skills is the ability to make better decisions. When you feel pressured for time and have to make a decision, you're more likely to jump to conclusions without fully considering every option. That leads to poor decision making. Through effective time management, you can eliminate the pressure that comes from feeling like you don't have enough time. You'll start to feel calmer and in control. And when that time comes to examine the options and decide, instead of rushing through the process, you can take time to carefully consider each option. And when you're able to do that, you diminish your chances of making a bad decision. Number 4, time management is the key to success. It allows you to take control of your life rather than following the flow of others. As you accomplish more each day, make more sound decisions, and feel more in control, people notice. Leaders in your business will come to you when they need to get things done. And that increased exposure helps put you in the line for advancement opportunities. Although some of you may not be working in your dream career yet, understanding time management now is crucial, so when you do start working your dream job, you already have this skill down. Number 5, the more you learn, the more valuable you are to your employer and the more you will get out of your classes. Great learning opportunities are around you if you got time to stop and take advantage of them. When you work more efficiently, you have that time. How many times in lecture have you found something very interesting and wanted to learn more about it? When you start making those connections and exploring how they connect to real-life problems, you learn better. All this can be accomplished with good time management skills. Number 6, when you don't have control of your time, it's easy to end up feeling rushed and overwhelmed. And when that happens, it can be harder to figure out how long it's going to take to complete a task. Think of a time when you were about to miss a deadline and were frantically trying to finish the project. If someone dumped a surprise project on your desk at that moment and asked how long it would take to finish the surprise task, how can you even begin to answer the question? Once you learn how to manage your time, you no longer subject yourself to a level of stress. Besides it being better for you, your health, you have a clearer picture of the demands on your time. You're better able to estimate how long a given task will take for you to accomplish, and you know you can meet your deadline. Number 7, everyone needs time to relax and unwind. Unfortunately, though, many of us don't get enough of it. Between classes, work, and family responsibilities, errands, and upkeep of the house, most of us are hard-pressed to even find 10 minutes to sit and do nothing. Having good time management skills helps you fill that time. When you're busy, you're getting more done. You accumulate extra time throughout your day that you can use later to relax, unwind, and prepare for a good night's sleep. Number 8. When you practice good time management, you have no room for procrastination. The better you get at it, the more self-discipline you learn. This is a valuable skill that will begin to impact other areas of your life where a lack of discipline has kept you from achieving your goal. So now I want to discuss 5 different techniques to help you develop your time management skills. The first technique I would like to discuss is SMART goals. Proper time management always starts with setting goals and knowing in which direction you want to go in life. One of the most popular goal-setting techniques is called SMART goals. The idea is pretty simple. Every SMART written goal should be written down following the next criteria. 1. Be specific. Clearly define the desired outcome, what you want to achieve. So for example, it can be acing an upcoming exam. For my SMART goal, I would write acing my biology 362 exam that is in 3 weeks. The next bullet point would be measurable. There must be a way to measure progress. It can be either something as long as weeks to even something smaller like hours. In my example, I would probably first start with days, and I could even go down to hours. I would write down that every day I want to read maybe 5 pages in my textbook, take down notes, and incorporate them with lecture notes for the following 18 days. Then the last 3 days I will use to study my notes. The next bullet point would be attainable. Can the goal be met with the available resources? For my example, I would have to ask myself, do I understand lecture, or do I need to go to office hours, possibly SI, or maybe even tutoring? If so, I would have to incorporate those times into my schedule. The next bullet point would be relevant. It must fit a bigger picture, and you must know why you want to achieve something. For my example, it could be because I want to make honor roll this semester. So getting an A in the next exam will allow me to get an A in the class. Therefore, allow me to get honor roll this semester. The idea of this bullet point is to allow you to analyze your goal to see if it really will help the bigger picture or not. Finally, time bound. A clear deadline for when your goal will be achieved. This is one of the most important bullet points. This is where you can really make a plan to set in motion for your goal. In my case, my deadline would be in 3 weeks, and I would have to plan out every day and hour I would like to study to reach my goal of acing my exam. Once you have your goals written in a smart way, you should break them down into concrete and actionable tasks. Then the tasks need to be prioritized. The Eisenhower matrix is one of the most popular frameworks for prioritizing tasks. As an interesting fact, Dwight D. Eisenhower was the 34th President of the United States, serving between the years of 1953 and 1961. His matrix recommends arranging the tasks in one of 4 quadrants. 1. Urgent plus important, you do first. 2. Urgent plus important, so you schedule it. Urgent plus not important, you delegate to someone else that can do it for you. And finally, not important, not urgent, so you eliminate it. So let me define the difference between urgent and important tasks. Urgent tasks are the ones that you feel you must react to, like emails, phone call meetings, going to class, etc. These are tasks that are time sensitive to finish, meaning you have strict deadlines. Important tasks, on the other hand, are the ones that contribute to your long-term goals and things you really want to do in life. Important tasks are the ones that are part of your business or life mission. Of course, you should always tackle urgent and important tasks. It's important that you spend most of your working time in this quadrant, the urgent plus important. The important but not urgent tasks like sports, learning, creating, bonding with people, you should schedule in your calendar and make sure you do them regularly. All other tasks you should delegate or simply delete. The third technique of time management I want to discuss is the Kanban board. Kanban is a Japanese word meaning a billboard or signboard. The main idea of the Kanban board is to have a visual board that helps you track progress of your goals. People who are fans of the Kanban usually use a big whiteboard to visualize their goals, or software that supports the Kanban visualization. In my experience, a physical Kanban works much better. So how to get started? You should draw several columns on the whiteboard visualizing the stage of each specific task. The columns on the blackboard are usually to do, in progress, and completed or done. Then you need your sticky notes. Every sticky note represents a task that needs to be completed. You simply write down the name of the task that needs to be completed. You can use different colors of sticky notes for different types of tasks. After you have a big board and sticky notes with tasks, you simply stick the notes in one of the columns, depending on the phase of the task it is in. If you followed all the steps, you should have a nice visual representation of your task and in which stage they are. Based on your progress, you move sticky notes through these columns. Next, we have the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro or tomato technique is a very popular time management method invented by the software developer and author Francesco Criello in the late 1980s. Today, Pomodoro is one of the most popular time management techniques out there. The idea of Pomodoro is very simple. You should break down your daily work and complete it in intervals separated by short breaks. You work for 25 minutes straight, which is called one Pomodoro, and then take a 3 to 5 minute break. After 4 Pomodoro, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes to recharge. You should use a simple timer to follow the Pomodoro technique, such as a phone alarm or timer. Following the technique should give you enough focus and recovery time to maximize your productivity. Finally, the GTD or Getting Things Done technique. Getting Things Done is one of the most popular comprehensive time management frameworks out there. It's a 5-step method that helps you break bigger tasks into smaller, manageable steps, and then to finish those small steps immediately. The tagline for the framework is the art of stress-free productivity. Using the system should help you be more relaxed at work, accomplish more, be more creative, and keep track of all relevant things. Here are the 5 steps to the framework which it's based on. Number 1, capture. First, you capture everything that comes to your mind, every idea, task, or anything else that is worth remembering, such as things to read, watch, notes, or etc. You capture everything in that inbox to unload your mind. But the important thing is you empty your inbox regularly. Number 2, clarify. After you capture all the things, the second thing is to analyze and decide what to do with every specific item. If the item is not actionable, you have to decide to either delete it or archive it or delay it. If the item is actionable, you have to decide to either do it, delegate it, or delete it. If it takes less than 2 minutes to do, you should do it immediately. Number 3, organize. After processing, the next step is to organize items and actions. When organizing, you should do at least 4 things. Put items on the 4 action list: projects, next action, waiting for, or calendar. File tasks under different labels and also provide them with context. Non-actionable items should be stored in a digital or paper-based archive. Number 4, reflect. The goal of reflecting is to make sure everything is up to date. When reviewing, you should update your list, more irrelevant items, etc. You should do this at least every week. Number 5, engage. The final step after capturing and identifying actionable items, properly file them and reviewing your tasks. You should start working on the selected task. Before engaging, you should make sure you have the right context for the task. Context is what you need to be able to make sure you carry out that action. It can be a place, a tool, or a person. Enough time and energy, and that the tasks have the highest priority. The 5 different techniques of time management I discussed are the main techniques successful people have found useful. Feel free to incorporate one or all of these techniques to help you with your time management skills. It's okay to switch to different techniques if you feel like a certain one is not helping. Remember, the technique should improve your time management skills, not impair them.
Hi everyone, my name is Madeline Sisha and I'm a peer advisor here at Project Race. Today I'm going to share with you the ways that a few of your very own peer advisors manage their time. All 3 of the peer advisors come from different majors. However, their tips for time management can be applied across any discipline. We have Jaime Silva, who is a biochemistry major, Miguel Ramirez, who is a physics major, and me, Madeline Sisha, and I am an applied mathematics major. All three of us are successful students, researchers, and we all have a job. Therefore, the three of us have teamed up to give you our best time management tips. To start off, we have peer advisor Jaime's top 2 time management tips. Again, Jaime is a biochemistry major as well as an on-campus researcher. With such a busy schedule between school, work, and research, Jaime swears by the following 2 tips. First, he recommends making daily to-do lists. He places an emphasis on daily because by breaking your schedule into smaller, more manageable tasks, you can avoid feeling like you need to get everything on your to-do list done all at once. By breaking your master to-do list into daily tasks, you will find yourself feeling more motivated to get a few tasks done for the day rather than the overwhelming and putting down feeling that a long list of to-dos can impose on you. Jaime's second tip is to keep the documents in your computer organized. Now that a majority of us are attending school virtually, there are way more documents than ever before that need to be stored in our computer files. How many times have you had to go back and re-download a course syllabus because you forgot to save it under a file name that you could remember? I know I've done it way too many times. However, you can easily change this habit and better yet, save time by giving files a clear and concise name so you can quickly track down what you're looking for. For example, let's say you want to save your 3rd homework assignment for Biology 101. You can use a naming system like the one I have personally adopted, and that is abbreviating the course title, so in this case, Bio 101, then shortening homework into HW and giving the number of that homework assignment, so in this case, 3. Then whenever you're looking for something from your Bio 101 class, you will know to search for Bio 101 and the rest of your files will follow. This will greatly shorten the amount of time you need to search for specific files, and this naming system is easy to remember. Next, we have peer advisor Miguel's top 3 time management tips. Again, Miguel is a physics major as well as a researcher. With everything Miguel is involved in with school, he has learned these 3 time management tips from personal experience. First, Miguel advocates for taking breaks between his tasks. As counterintuitive as it may initially seem, taking breaks throughout the day makes you more productive. It will help you sustain your energy and capacity to do work. I hope my physics major caught on to that pun. Rather than trudging through all of your tasks in one sitting, Miguel emphasizes that breaks are essential, and it's just as important to make the conscious effort to not feel guilty for taking a break. Next, Miguel recommends assessing your priorities as a form of time management. During this time in our academic career, we are university students with a lot of homework, studying, and applications to do. It is important to evaluate whether taking the time to go out as much as you did back in high school is going to benefit the goals you're trying to attain now. It is inevitable that reaching our dreams is going to come with sacrifice. However, staying home to study won't last forever, and it will be worth it in the long run. Like Miguel says, hanging with friends is cool, but might have to take a back seat for a while. Assess your priorities according to the time you need to accomplish your goals. Lastly, Miguel gives the tip to maintain a realistic workload. There is so much that we all would like to get done, but there's so many hours in the day. Each day, take on as much as you feel you can chew. This idea can be supported by Jaime's earlier tip of making a daily to-do list. Each person's realistic workload is different. Therefore, in order to learn what your realistic workload per day is, you can take on a different amount of tasks each day and find what works for you. This way, you'll better understand the amount of work you can do in a day and the quality in which you can do it. A personal quote of mine is quality over quantity. And lastly, I'd like to share with you all my top 3 personal time management tips. Again, I am an applied mathematics major, and like my fellow peer advisors, I am a researcher, student, and have my job here at Project Raise. Understanding how to manage my time was a learning process, but they have made me successful in reaching many of my goals. I share them with confidence that they can help you reach your goals too. First and foremost, I recommend everyone to have a physical planner. The reason I emphasize physical is because from past experience of keeping my planner on my phone, I would easily get distracted by my phone and somehow end up on Instagram. I now keep my planner open on my dresser at all times. You can see my planner here to the right filled up with to-dos each day. It is much easier to keep track and remember your scheduled activities when they start piling up like they are bound to when you are in higher education and have a job. Right when something is scheduled or I have a new task come up, I write it in my planner right away. That way, I never lose track of what I need to do each day and I can see what I have planned for that day. Further, referring back to Jaime's tip of making daily to-do lists, I usually make a master list of everything I want to accomplish for the month and spread it out amongst my planner. That way, my master list is broken up throughout smaller, more manageable daily tasks. Another tip I have is finding your confidence to say no. This can be a hard thing to do, but remember that you have every right to make your own to-do list a priority. It becomes more comfortable to do this once you practice saying no. Value your time and others will too. My last tip is to set alarms on your phone. Before I go to bed each night, I set alarms to keep track of all of my meetings, professors' office hour times, homework assignment submission times, and even alarms to remember to take a break. An example of an average day of alarms for me is over here to the right. We can all keep our phones by our sides, and we already do, so keeping alarms to keep track of getting your tasks done for the day will never go unnoticed.
Hi everyone, my name is Jaime Silva and I'm a peer advisor for Project RACE. I am a senior biochemistry major and I transferred from Orange Coast College. In this section of the time management workshop during COVID-19, I'll be going over how to keep your class materials organized, as staying organized can help you save time. I'm also going to go over some study tips to help you study more efficiently and get the most out of your study sessions. Then I'll go over some planning tips to help you form a study planner that keeps in mind all your responsibilities outside from school. And lastly, I'll be discussing the importance of dedicating a study space at home so you can be more productive. Keeping your class materials organized. Because of virtual instruction, we're not getting the handouts that we will get in person. So now we're downloading class documents more than ever. Having an organized system to organize your files will help you save time and study more efficiently, since you won't be spending time looking for that one document that you need. If you handwrite your notes in a notebook or compile them in a binder, make sure to organize them in a way that makes sense to you. That way, when you need to come back to them, you'll know exactly where to find the specific notes that you need to review or to study. I think the most efficient way to organize your notes in a notebook or binder is by date, and they break them down by chapter or subject. If you have access to a tablet or iPad that you can write on using a stylus, I really recommend downloading a note-taking app such as Evernote or OneNote. With these apps, you can make different notebooks for different subjects, and you can also edit notes really easily since you can move things around without having to rewrite all of your notes. Not to mention that you can also upload your notes to the cloud and basically access them from any device. This is pretty neat since you can save all your notes and come back to them next year if you need to, especially if you're taking one of those sequence classes. Organizing your class files in your computer. I think this is definitely easier said than done. At least in my experience, I would always download a bunch of documents and I would have them laying around on my desktop. And even though at first it's really easy to just randomly save your documents on your desktop, all this cluttering eventually gets to the point where you have to look for that one file or the essay that you were writing, and you just end up downloading the class syllabus way too many times. Having a cluttered desktop is not efficient and we want to save time. So one way you can organize your files is by making a folder for each one of your classes. From there, you can make subfolders or folders in your class folder. And these subfolders will break your class up into different topics. You can also break them down by chapters, sections, midterm content, or big projects that you have. I actually practiced this tip over the semester. I made a folder for each one of my classes, and on each one of those folders, I had a folder named midterm 1, midterm 2, and so on. Then as the semester went by, I saved all my notes, homework, activity files, or whatever the instructor will give to prepare for the test in a specific folder. If you want to be super organized, you can also rename the documents you download with a numbering system. For instance, you could rename the first document that you get by inserting a number 1 before its name. Then you could rename the second file by adding a number 1 before its name, and so on. That way, when they save that way the documents will save in the order that you downloaded them, even after you modify them. Now I'll be touching on some study tips to help you study more efficiently and ultimately save time, because in the end, it's all about time. I also want to mention that Project Race posted a video workshop on more extensive study tips, which is on our website if you would like to check that out. What do we do when we're stuck and don't understand something in class? Do you ever have a question but don't want to ask because you think it may be a dumb question or simply don't want to interrupt your professor? If you have synchronous classes, use the chat window and ask a private question to your professor. This is going to help you clear any doubts, and you won't have to struggle and spend time to figure out that part that you didn't fully understand on your own. Attend office hours, even if you're not stuck, to help you better understand the material. And go to tutoring or supplemental instruction. Even if attending to these may seem like it's adding something else to do to your already busy schedule, it would actually help you study more efficiently and potentially save time when you are studying. Some other study tips include forming a study plan to help you stay on track, and I'll go over how to form a study plan in a second. But also, you can also download an app that can help you endorse study habits, and yes, there is an app for that. In fact, we have these 4 apps that we at Project Race recommend. The first one is the Easy Study app because it lets you plan your study sessions using your personal calendar. The app also creates a plan for you to study each day and tells you what you need to focus on during each particular session. It also lets you track your study performance while optimizing your studying at home. The Flora app is a more straightforward app that helps you build study habits and create a study routine. It also uses a fun approach to hold you accountable for putting down your phone and actually focusing on your homework and schoolwork that you have. Our next app is the My Homework app because it is more than a typical to-do list sort of app. It is your virtual agenda that replaces your physical agenda, even if you don't have one. With this app, you can set reminders, write down important deadlines, keep track of your personal assignments, and it is really easy to use. Lastly, there is my Study Life app. This one also allows you to input your work and class schedules, but you can also enter teachers' office hours, review sessions, club meetings, and really any extracurriculars that you have going on. That way, you know what's coming up and you can plan your week in advance. Planning can help you stay on track of your classes while also keeping in mind all your other responsibilities. Make a schedule taking into account the time that you allocate for studying, work, errands, and other family events. Write down all your exam deadlines. Doing this was really helpful for me this semester, especially for those asynchronous classes where you don't really see your professor and they're not constantly reminding you about your deadlines. Prioritize things based on their due dates. I think this is an important one when it comes to procrastinating, like especially on that one assignment that you kind of are dreading and don't really want to do. If it's the first thing that you have to do, give it maximum priority to submit it ASAP. Dedicate study hours and make a study routine if possible. So that way you can only focus on your schoolwork without distractions. Scheduling shorter sessions in advance as opposed to having all-nighters can help you learn the material way better. Plus, it gives you time to ask questions and definitely reduces the stress levels since you won't be sleep deprived during finals. Lastly, do not procrastinate. Try to stay motivated, take breaks, and practice some self-care. But do whatever you need to do to avoid procrastinating, because some tasks may take longer to complete than you had anticipated. I think when it comes to this, it's always better to have extra time than to be running out of it. Planning is extremely important to help you stay on top of everything that you have to do. You can get started on your weekly overview by planning out and outlining your typical week for the semester. To do this, first start off with the things that you do on a regular basis, such as sleep, attend classes, and if you have a job, also take that into account. Then use that remaining time to include your study sessions, completing assignments, eating, self-care, but be mindful of things like getting ready, commuting places, if you're commuting to your job, for example, and honestly, also just time to yourself and self-care. However, keep in mind that you may have to adjust your weekly overview as the weeks go by. Adjust your planner by doing a weekly overview reflection, which I will talk about in a bit. If you need a planner layout such as this one on the screen, to get your own weekly overview started, be sure to check out Canvas to download your own. Like I previously mentioned, it's important to do a weekly overview reflection. This reflection can help you figure out if your planning is effective or if it's too demanding. That way you can figure out what needs to be changed to make it more realistic. Start off by asking yourself if your weekly overview is accurate. Are you accounting for all the things that you do on a regular basis, or do you need to add a bit more tasks that you do? Then think if you are allocating enough time to study, because some classes are just more challenging than others. Also, keep in mind that you may need more time to study for each class as the semester goes by. What can you do to optimize your time? For instance, are you getting the most out of your study sessions? Once again, if you think you could benefit from some study tips, check out the RTP Study Tips Asynchronous Workshop posted on our website. Then ask yourself if you're using your flexible time efficiently to keep up with your schoolwork. And also think about the kind of time that they need to allocate to achieve your goals. Like I was saying earlier, some classes will require more time than others will. Lastly, think about the things that you will need to sacrifice to ensure you accomplish your goals. For instance, maybe sometimes you just have to stop watching your favorite show to study for that one exam that you need to ace. Think about this weekly overview reflection at least once a week so you know what you have to do differently for the next week. Also, keep in mind that this is not set in stone and your plans can change day by day. The main purpose of it is to help you stay organized and help you create a routine. Because in the end, we all need to study more efficiently and save time while we're studying from home. Dedicate a study space at home. This will help you enter school mode and actually study more efficiently, which ultimately saves time. Although it may be 100 times more comfortable to study from your bed, odds are you won't be as efficient. So try to limit your bed-bound studying as much as possible. If you find yourself getting constantly distracted by your phone, set it to vibrate mode or just put it away from your study space. If you know you will have the urge to check your Instagram feed or something like that, make sure your space is clean and tidy and you actually have all the school supplies that you need handy. This one is very important, but can also help you save tons of time. Have a sticky note or a piece of paper with all your Zoom meeting links, your Zoom meeting passwords, so you don't have to find them or even memorize them, all your Zoom passwords for all your classes. And lastly, if you're like me and like to have a physical planner, make sure your calendar is visible and scratch out any assignments that you complete. Try it out, it's always satisfying. Now that you have the basics on how to stay organized and create your own schedule and how to set your own study space at home, make sure you try them out. Don't be discouraged if at first it takes a while for you to get adjusted to your system. You just make sure that you create the system that works for you and make sure that you keep using that system throughout the semester so that you're more efficient at your studying and saving time.
Hey everyone, my name is Miguel Ramirez, and I am also a peer advisor at Project Raise. I'm a fourth year physics major, and I transferred in from Fullerton College. What I'm going to be talking about in my segment of this presentation are specific resources on campus that can help you find tailored strategies for effective time management. So one of the big ones are workshops. Every week there are dozens of scheduled workshops. These workshops cover many different topics such as self-care, time management, and other categories, more than that aim to help you succeed at Cal State Fullerton. Project Raise itself offers workshops that incorporate peer advisor experiences. And what that means is that we give you our own personal experiences as input. So we tell you what has helped us succeed, what we've had trouble with, and how that's helped us really get to where we're at today. Other programs at CSUF also provide workshops such as the Student Life and Leadership. This specific workshop titled Reflection and Application is going to offer you a platform to share and reflect your experiences this semester. And this is going to be held with other students and other faculty. If you're interested in this one, it's going to be held on Friday, December 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. More information can be found on Titan Link. The Diversity Initiatives and Resource Center, also known as DIRC, also provides substantially beneficial workshops. All these workshops that are held on campus have really high potential in helping you optimize your time management at Cal State Fullerton. They allow you to kind of get information on resources and services that both student and staff find helpful. If you would like to search for any specific or general workshops that are scheduled, or even previous ones that you might have been interested in, utilizing Titan Link is the easiest way to search or browse through organizations, workshops, clubs. Uh, that's where I find most of my general information. It's through your student portal. The Counseling and Psychological Services, again, CAPS, strives to help students achieve their academic, professional, and personal goals. Professional counselors can help students improve coping skills, strengthen personal relationships, navigate the college transition, recover from traumatic experiences, or engage in self-exploration. CAPS offers brief counseling for individuals, couples, group counseling, psychiatric services, referrals, crisis interventions, and other workshops to eligible CSUF students. Uh, we all have our ups and downs when it comes to our personal lives and our careers, but knowing how to cope with these unexpected circumstances really allows us to keep our momentum going and continue succeeding. While physical health is important, I want to highlight that mental health should be placed on the same pedestal. I definitely recommend utilizing this resource regardless of how small or how insignificant you might think a problem is. There is nothing that they can't really help you with. Something I do want to point out though, and something I want to advise is if you're looking to book an appointment, do so early. These reservations are sometimes booked very quickly, and with these stay-at-home orders, there are certain restrictions that they are not allowed to do, and it also might fluctuate even more. If you would like more information on CAPS, either visit their website provided here, or consider attending this upcoming workshop to find out more. With the stay-at-home order, something that I really recommend utilizing is You at Fullerton. This is a platform provided by CAPS. It's designed to basically give you resources that are tailored to your specific needs. These resources could include anywhere from articles, videos, or other resources found at Cal State Fullerton. This is more of a self-paced resource. This would be optimal for those that are, a little more reserved. But I still can recommend this to anybody. You can definitely find some use out of this. If not, it's very beneficial. One of the aspects I mentioned earlier about the U platform was personalization. It is really emphasized on this platform. You can explore several topics that you may want to focus on yourself. Each topic that you choose provides several articles relating to said topic. Um, one that I found extremely beneficial, one article was titled Secret of Solitude. And this article kind of just briefly taught me that being alone isn't as scary as I previously thought. Um, in high school, we always think, oh, being alone is one of the worst things ever. But no, there is plenty of room for a lot of self-reflection, a lot of rest and relaxation. Another one I found interesting is titled Burnout Happens, Here's How to Beat It. In case you couldn't get the hint, this article emphasizes kind of how to avoid burning yourself out. It highlights that taking breaks are essential. It's a mixture. It's not all work and no play, but conversely, it's not all play and no work. And this final article that I want to share with you is Difficulty Sleeping. This article provides a lot of information about several sleeping disorders and how you can overcome them. This is something I struggled with as well, and that was affecting my time management pretty heavily. All these articles were synthesized in my own personal strategy on how to keep my most optimized time management strategy. However, this can be tailored completely different to meet something that is more suited to your own needs or even interests. Another thing that the You at Fullerton platform provides are these self-assessments. These assessments allow you to take a step back and sort of better understand yourself. The success self-check, this one right here, really allows you to measure your professional and academic success. The Thrive self-check assesses your mental and emotional well-being. And finally, this Matter self-check kind of evaluates what in life and career has meaning to you. Synthesizing all these three all these three self-checks allows you to really analyze and evaluate your current strategies of time management and whether it's optimized or could use some tweaking here and there or has to be completely rehauled. Setting goals is really important when it comes to time management. Without them, there isn't a really clear or defined end goal to your destination. Um, these goals can vary from smaller goals, such as simply just attending office hours in one of the more difficult classes that you have, or set up more collaborative goals, such as making Dean's Lists. Either way, you at Fullerton allows you to kind of set these goals to be done individually or through a support group. Statistically, you're more likely to finish these goals in a support group. However, it's not a necessity that you have to do that. I know at this point you've been provided a substantial amount of information, so I kind of want to recap on some of the resources I went over today. Workshops are super important and are always happening at Cal State Fullerton. Every week you can probably find one happening or one coming up. Whether it be provided by the Raise Transfer Program, RTP, or other programs at the university. Titan Link, again, is the perfect way to search for any workshops happening or coming up and related to any topics that you would like to be more knowledgeable on. CAPS can provide expert guidance through counseling, workshops, and other external resources. Again, mental health is really important when you are in the undergraduate program and in life in general. So this is a resource that I can never stop recommending. The U app is a great way to take a more intimate, personal approach to assess your time management strategies. Again, it's a little more self-paced, a little more tailored to your own needs, your own interests, and so on and so forth. Even with all these resources, it is important for you to find the one that best works for you. You might find in the end that one resource might prove more beneficial than the other, or you might find that several resources together work well. In the end, just make sure that it optimizes your time management strategies and doesn't hold you back. If you have any other questions about the resources, tips, or general information about the material covered in the presentation, please feel free to contact us at Project Raise. Any of the peer advisors, please just send us an email. We are more than happy to go over anything that in more detail or just go over something that you might have missed during the presentation. Remember, optimizing your time management is a never-ending work of process. You will be continually adding, subtracting elements into your schedule, and you just got to know those strategies that'll help you kind of watch out for those sharp left turns and make sure you stay on track. We want you to succeed. Don't forget to check out any of the mentioned resources at Cal State Fullerton, such as workshops, the U at Fullerton platform, Dirk, CAPS, and Project Raise, of course. And with that, this concludes our workshop and what is time management and useful techniques, tips, and resources. Please feel free to check out our other asynchronous workshops available through Project Raise website at fullerton.edu/Project Raise. These slides will be available through Canvas, and don't forget to log this RTP activity there as well. Also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram and Facebook at CSUF Project Raise to get the latest information and resources and upcoming events and workshops. Thanks so much for watching this and have a great day.